Hello, hello. Welcome to my thought for this lovely, lovely Friday. The sun came out and now it's beautiful outside. There's been a lot of talk about schools, particularly in England, and they're talking about uh, letting children back in school, and they're trying to decide what ages are best. And my favorite remark is, why are they letting 4-year-olds back? They lick each other. They're going to give each other the virus. But I was thinking how different classrooms are and nowadays, because they all have these boards that you just can wipe away, and they have computers. Uh, and my classroom was so different, and I wanted to talk about the desk that I sat at. Had a little, you raised it, and you kept your books in a little trough underneath it, and you wrote on the top, and it had an inkwell, and you had a stick pen that you put in that inkwell, and every child that went to school had a little black lump on this finger because you got the ink on and we wrote with that ink pen. And above our blackboard, because we had a blackboard, a chalkboard, and above that were all the letters of the alphabet in cursive and in regular print. Like most of you, very few people can write cursive now. Most people from my generation can, because we had to do that, write cursive. And I wonder what happens to their signature, because your signature, at least my signature, is in cursive. But for me, the most exciting, wonderful thing that I could do when I went to school was stay after school and clean the erasers. What you would do is you would stay after school, and you would take all the erasers that the teacher had used to erase the chalkboard that you put all the things on the chalkboard, and you would take it out and you would clap them together, and you would clean them for the teacher. And that was my magic moment, because I didn't have to go home right away, and because I could show the teachers what a darling human being I was. The other thing with classrooms is that we used to line up. I see children now, and they always are in pairs. We didn't do that. We lined up according to height, and Freddie Oaken was always in front, or Carol Reinstein was always in front, as a matter of fact. She was the teeniest, or else by the alphabet. And the alphabet meant that alphabetically, Larry Zaft was always the last one. And because Larry Zaft was a fat, happy little boy, oh, he was adorable, but he was always the last for everything. And it gave him a terrible, terrible complex. And when we went to school, the war was going on. I'm speaking of grade school, the war was going on. And so our last period, we would knit for the soldiers. We would knit, and Larry was our very best knitter, Larry Zaft. But he was the most unhappy one in the whole class because he had to be last. And he, too, would often stay back with me and clean those erasers. So school was a very different thing, and the happiness that we had in school. Our playgrounds were also very different. I don't think it had anything on them. I mean, you have slides, and you have jungle gyms, and you have all these fancy contraptions, things you can climb. We didn't have anything. We just had gravel. Uh, we might have had a swing. I don't think so. Not in Fulton School. I don't think we had a swing. So school was just a very different thing, and it was very much a child's thing. I think now when I see the children locked to their computers and coming home with reams of homework, we didn't do that. The only time that we worked on schoolwork was during school. And then we would walk home, and my imagination would take flight. And that was school back in the 30s. And thank you for joining me for this reminiscent thought.